Stay with those whose times are bad, but leave those whose intentions are bad. Today, let me take you on a journey, an inspiring tale about a young man whose life takes an unexpected turn, teaching us profound lessons about greed, trust, and the power of intention. Once a young man who worked tirelessly as a laborer for a wealthy landlord. Life hadn't been kind to him. His parents were no more, and he lived a life of solitude. Each day was a cycle of hard work, returning home, cooking a simple meal and falling asleep, only to repeat it all the next day. But one evening, as the sun set behind the hills, something happened that would change his life forever. On his way home, he noticed an old sage struggling under the weight of 3 heavy bags. The sage, weary from his journey, paused under a tree. As the young man approached, the sage called out to him, "Son, can you help me? These bags are heavy, and I am too old to carry them much further. If you can take just one of them to the next village, I will reward you with 2 gold coins." The young man, moved by the sage's plight, readily agreed. He hoisted one of the bags onto his shoulder and began walking alongside the sage. The bag was indeed heavy, but the young man thought, "It's just a small favor. I can manage." As they walked, the young man's curiosity got the better of him. He asked, "What's inside this bag that makes it so heavy?" The sage smiled and replied, "Oh, just some copper coins. They're old but still valuable." Hearing this, the young man thought, "Copper coins? The sage must be a trader, carrying his wealth from one place to another." But he quickly dismissed the thought, reminding himself that his job was simply to help, not to question. Soon, they reached a river. The young man crossed it effortlessly, but the sage hesitated at the edge. "Son," the sage said, "I cannot carry these 2 bags across the river. My knees are weak and I fear slipping. If you carry 1 more bag for me, I will give you 2 more gold coins." The young man, touched by the sage's humility, replied, "Baba, you don't need to offer me anything. I'll help you regardless." He picked up the 2nd bag and continued walking. This one felt even heavier, but he didn't complain. As they walked further, the young man couldn't help but wonder, "What's in this 2nd bag?" The sage, overhearing his unspoken question, said, "This one has silver coins. That's why it's heavier." The young man's thoughts began to wander. Copper in one, silver in another. This sage must be incredibly wealthy. Why is he traveling like this? Shouldn't someone like him have guards or carriages? But he shook off the thoughts, reminding himself of the task at hand. When they reached the base of a hill, the sage made one last request. "Son, I can't climb this hill with the last bag. If you carry it for me, I'll give you 2 more gold coins. But please, be careful. It contains gold coins, and they are precious." Hearing the word gold, the young man's heart skipped a beat. He agreed, taking the 3rd bag even though it was the heaviest of all. As they climbed, thoughts of greed began to cloud his mind. Gold, silver, copper. This sage must have a fortune. If I take these bags and run, what could this old man do? He's too weak to chase me. But just as quickly, another voice in his mind spoke, "No, this is wrong. The sage trusted you. Don't betray his trust." A battle raged within him, greed against morality. As they neared the top of the hill, the young man made his decision. When the sage paused to rest, the young man took all 3 bags and ran as fast as he could. He ran down the hill, through deserted paths, and finally reached his home. His heart raced with excitement as he opened the 1st bag. But what he saw froze him in disbelief: rusted iron coins. Shocked, he opened the 2nd bag, more rusted coins. And the 3rd? The same. His dreams of wealth crumbled before his eyes. In the bottom of one bag he found a note. It read, "Greed blinds the wise. What you sought was never in these bags but in your heart. Reflect on your choices." Friends, this story isn't just about a young man or an old sage. It's about all of us. How often do we let greed cloud our judgment? How often do we forget the value of trust and kindness in our pursuit of material gain? The real treasures in life are not gold, silver, or copper. They are honesty, compassion, and the ability to stay true to ourselves. Remember, wealth may fill your pockets, but integrity fills your soul.